Hey everyone, Eyal here. How are you doing? So thank you for joining me today for this other fun stream of me kind of sharing my life and my world. Uh, what I'm going to be doing today is I'm mostly going to be working on my cross-platform, let's call it graphics library, even though it might do some other stuff. It's already getting into a pretty interesting condition. So this is fun. This is a graphic library that I'm writing from scratch. Uh, it it currently uses no dependencies, so it doesn't use another library for anything. It's only using operating system things for windowing, networking, graphics. So far, it works on Windows, Mac, and iOS. I haven't published it yet. It's still raw. There's still a few things needed, but it's fun. I think it's getting to a really interesting place. And yeah, I'm hoping it's gonna be useful for people to share this with me. I'm going to be around in the chat. Feel free to send me your questions, and we can talk about things. There might be some vibe coding involved today because I'm getting more and more into learning the process of how to collaborate with Claude Code specifically. Sometimes Gemini, but mostly that one. It is interesting because there are a few bits that I've vibe coded in this project, and some of them have been amazing. Some of them I've had to review, refactor quite a lot. So some of them we will review actually now because I haven't reviewed them just yet. So let's remove the starting soon thing because we've already started. Yeah, so hopefully this is good. I hope, I'm just checking my settings. Let's see that my sound is working. Oh, of course, it was not working. Here you go. Let's switch from here to.
Okay, hopefully this audio now should be better. Who knows what you were hearing right now? So hopefully audio is okay. Before that was just the mic here, for whatever reason, wasn't part of this mic. Hopefully audio is better now. And yeah, so let's see if everyone is in the chat. I'm going to be monitoring the chat on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. So feel free to write something, and we'll see if I can help. See if I can answer. All right, so let's see where we are right now. So first of all, one of the things I've added recently, I've added a few cool things to this library, kind of off stream, let's call it. First of all, there's an SVG renderer. That's kind of nice. Like, look at this beautiful SVG. Oh, let's move my face from here so you can all see what I'm doing. Let's see what we're going on here. So one of the things that I can do, first of all, let me go here, move my face over here to the side. Okay, so this is like a very crisp looking, SVG renderer. The SVG itself is in my example, looks here, it looks like this, right? This is the original SVG used by another SVG displayer. I think it doesn't look so bad. Let's make some changes here. Let's make my zoom a little bit more so that it's going to be more stream friendly. So I'm going to go here to appearance, make things be 150%. Hopefully this will make it a bit more clear. And also let me stop here. Let's switch to Nova. Switch to Nova engine here in my Sea Lion. Yeah, so okay, so what we're working with, just to kind of rephrase that, is I'm working on this library that is meant to be an abstraction around operating system things. It's basically going to be, so far it's mostly for graphics, but it's an abstraction around just the things the OS provides. So Windows, Mac, iOS for now, maybe Linux in the future, maybe Android in the future, but now just these three. And I was trying to find a way that is very efficient, but hopefully would mature to an expressive API. And I was trying to, eventually do something that would make it very quick for people who are making all kinds of native apps to create UIs. There are a few solutions that exist right now for native UIs. We can discuss them. Some of them are great, but they're heavyweight. So, for example, you can use something like Juice, something like Qt. Some of them are just expensive. Some of them are just heavyweight. They're kind of complicated to compile. Some of them have performance limitations that I wanted to bypass. Some of them just don't look so good. So, for example, a lot of gaming libraries are very fast to render, or something like IMGUI. Very renders relatively fast, but does not look good, especially when it comes to text rendering. I was trying to use, especially on Mac, something like Cortex that I think looks quite nice and crisp and resizes super well, looks very sharp. I feel like a lot of these other libraries that exist don't always provide that, and it kind of looks, the text part looks a bit off, and anti-aliasing on path and stuff doesn't look so right. So I was trying to have something that would provide that with, in some cases, better performance than competitors because of this layered architecture that I was going to be using. Okay, so hopefully you're all here. Hopefully you're all hearing correctly. And let's go. Let's see what we got. So let's talk about where I am and what I wanted to change. So this is the SVG thing. I have a few other like GUI examples here. There's one little, there's even a web view example where the web view actually goes on native web view and goes to my website, right? This is my personal website with my all kinds of plugins that I've built. So that is another thing that we might elaborate on. And yeah, so let me turn down myself a little bit, and I'm going to play some music for myself, which I cannot play for you. Let's put it on. Let's make sure that you're not going to hear this music because I would get banned immediately. Hopefully this is okay and you're not hearing it. So I'm just playing a beautiful Bill Evans piano album in the background. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do today. So one of the things I wanted to do is I thought it would be cool to you see. So one of the things that's happened right now in this SVG example is that the SVG example is loading the actual SVG from a file. And files have some complications with them because files needs to be somewhere on the system. Right now, there's some kind of really horrible script there that kind of copies the file and tries to find where the file is. Copies the file into the bundle, stuff like that. So it's not amazing. It's not usually. I don't want to have a complicated distribution with this app. What I want to do is I want to have resources embedded in the app, and there are actually a number of libraries that do that. Juice has something called binary data. It's very useful. There's another library called, I think, CMRC, I think it's called. It's great. It's a CMake library. It's also okay. The problem I have with that library is that it's using CMake and it's kind of slow. So I'm thinking this would be like a great opportunity for a vibe coding project. Basically create a resource embedder, and then we'll probably use this in this library as well. So I feel like this would be a cool vibe coding project that we can kind of monitor and see what this does. Oh, great choice. Thank you. I guess you referred to the Bill Evans album. Wish I could just play it for you on the stream. If I am playing for you by accident on a stream, that means that I will be taken down so quickly. But I think I don't, right? I think you only hear my voice. Hopefully it's all set up correctly. Like I always say, if you're, I'm streaming this on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, feel free to comment, and I can bring your comment, etc., on screen, and we can talk about it. All right. So let's see how far vibe coding is going to take us. And then, so we're going to start with a vibe coded thing. I'm going to, should I do this right in here? Let's do it right in here. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see how bad it is. So I'm going to open a new branch. Let's call it resource, embedder. Good. And let's see how Claude is able to figure out what I want from it, right? Okay, I want to close my old Claude one. Let's open a new Claude thing. Let's go to my terminal. Let's go to, okay, so there's a question. Is the juice binary data usable only by C++ apps? Only stuff built with juice? Been confused by that for a while. So the juice binary data is, the way it's technically done, we can go over it. It's but it's basically multiple things. So first of all, it has two sides. One side is a side that takes resources like your images and all that, and makes it C++ code. So it's basically a code generator. Exactly what we're going to do now. So it's a code generator that creates those things for you to use. So it is just, I mean, you could consume it by other programs, I guess. Well, technically it's a C. It's more of a C code generator. So you could use it by anything it uses a C, has a C bindings. But the other side of the juice binary data thing is that it actually requires you to compile a program that Juice is offering. They're compiling that program while you configure your project, and then they call it before you build your project. So, and we're probably going to do something kind of similar. We're going to add something to our pipeline that is going to embed the resources. The reason why I want to compile it is I've seen something like CMRC running that script in CMake, and CMake is just too slow for this because the data could be quite big. So I want to write something a bit more efficient. I might write an actual or vibe code, an actual code generator that is going to generate this thing. And it's also going to have a few features that both of these CMRC and Juice does not have. But yes, the simple answer is the Juice thing is meant to be consumed by Juice apps. You could make it not be used by Juice apps only, but it's meant to be consumed by C++ in the context of Juice. It's kind of well stuck into that framework. I don't know if what I'm going to do now is going to be that different, but it could definitely be built as a standalone tool. I could also build it in like a separate repo. It's maybe a good idea, but yeah, let's see where it takes us. But yeah, but the basic idea is we want to have something in our project like an SVG. We want to be able to declare it in the CMake file, and then we want to have access to it at runtime and just be able to grab that memory so that it's kind of stuffed in the binary. And this should simplify distribution because the binary is going to come in to the user with no other dependency, right? The user would not have I would not need to have an installer, for example, for the user to have their images displayed. So this is really the design goals of this little bit that we're going to do. And let's see if Claude is good enough to vibe code this for us. Because one of the things is I'm going to ask it to kind of match it to the rest of the library. So who knows if it can do it? We will see. We will see. So I'm going to, let's bring my terminal. Let's go to code EACP. That's the name of my library currently. Temporary name. Alamir is cross-platform. Let's go there. Let's run Claude, and let's see if we can convince Claude to do what we want. So I want to write an initial resource embedding platform for my library. At first, I want the resource manager to be built as one of the modules in the library. So for example, it would be under lib EACP resources, or resource embedder, or let's call it resource embed. Yes. If anyone has a good name for this, let me know. But I'm going to start with resource embed. The goal of this is to create a C++ app that creates code generation for other C++ apps to consume. Eventually, this will be called by CMake, but let's not implement this part yet. So first step, create the module, add an example app that calls the module in apps resource embed. And create a basic command line. Let's call it even a basic function to take a file, take a file and create code generated C++ code with the binary contents of that file. Let's see if it would understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so I don't know how many of you have tried to use Claude Code, but probably many of you, because it's very hyped up right now. It's quite an amazing tool. I'm doing a lot of cool things with it, but I also think there are a lot of things to consider about the hype of this. But it can do quite a lot of incredible things. Like I got it to do already a few amazing things in my code base. What helped was that it was a testing code base, so I didn't care if it took the wrong route or something. But it's very, very interesting. I think that it's one of these inspiring tools that is changing the world as we speak. I am very inspired by the things that I can do with it, by the things that I've seen other people do with it. It's pretty awesome. If you're in the chats, and I know some people here are watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, let me know if there's something cool that you've done with Claude Code, I think, or something that you have you're considering about the usage of it. I think it's a fascinating topic. It's I don't know, one of the most incredible things that has happened in my lifetime is this kind of revolution. So I am very excited by trying to make it work. So, okay, so the comment is, it's amazing for what you're doing right now, but I also hit a ton of dead ends in niche topics or stubborn challenges. 100%. And we're probably going to hit that as well, even today. So that's something that for some reason is not talked about enough, because people try to push the hype of the amazing things the tech can do. But I very quickly, when I use Claude Code, run to the place where it just doesn't understand what I'm doing, sends me in loops to figure out what it did. That happens quite a lot. Let's let it do the things I tried to do. I'm just letting it do its thing right now. We're gonna review what it did, and I'm probably gonna not like some of the things it does. But yeah, I mean, you definitely. I feel like if you would try to make a more mature product with this, you're going to run into the limitations very quickly. But if you know how to debug and if you know how to, read code and review code, which we are going to very, very soon. So, and you can kind of keep track of the result and, add tests and add all these other elements. I think it's such a useful tool, even if you're going to run into dead ends with it. Like, unless, so it's, I don't know, I feel like it's amazing that such tools are being built. And because people think that what Claude Code does is like AI, and it is AI, but there's so much human thought about the flow, about how it works with your code, how it parses the code, the use of LSP and language server protocol. It's just so smart. It's just so productive, and so, I don't know. There's something very, very clever about the way this tool was designed. So even if the result is not there yet, or you have to modify the result, I still think I just love the way the people made it, thought about app creation. It's a really cool app. Okay, here we go. So let's see what it did. I have no idea what it did. This is all, I can kind of take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look just from a Git perspective, what it did before we're going to look at the files. So it added 7 new files, and those are basically the files I've asked it to add. Right? It added something in the it added a library for this, and it added an app, and it changed my CMake file, hopefully just to add those directories. Yeah, it just did add subdirectory. So it did I didn't look at the actual contents, but it looked like it did basically what I was asking. And let's go to the resource embed target that it added, right? So now it's in the part of my build. Let's run it. I have no idea what it's going to do. Okay, so it asked me to bring in a file with a resource name. Okay, that's good. Let's see the interface that it has. So it has this does this command line parsing thing for main. Here you go. Then it goes to generate embed. Let's see what the CMake looks like. Okay, only links with EACP resource embed. That's good. Let's have a look at what this things are doing. Okay. It generally tries to follow my code style, by the way, which is in an MD file. So it doesn't do the worst job at it, but what is this doing? Generate embed code. Okay, I want to give it, right now it's taking a path. I don't love this. So I'm gonna see if I can, before I write it myself manually, I'm gonna see if I can convince Claude to do what I wanted more precisely. So I already don't like this. Okay. So where is my terminal? Okay. Can you modify this implementation so that there's a separate function that creates the string for the generated code? Oh, that takes a string for the file source, for the file source contents, and outputs the generated code outputs the generated code as a string. Let's start with that. I also actually probably want to have it be 2 strings. So we're going to start with that red request. And the idea is, and this is interesting, when you're thinking of like things that the generated code is going to do, because I'm already thinking of what the interface of this would be, not just from the interface of the user of the software, but also this little library. What it would need to do, and I would also need to test it pretty soon, is that we would need a way to, first of all, you would pass it a file. It is going to make it in a binary and save some generated code for this. But it also will probably need to add some sort of a runtime interface so that, for example, we might need a way to create something like a runtime map. It also might need to switch it from an H to CPP so that code that uses it is not just going to include all these massive pieces of data, but it's going to include a little header. We need to think of how this is going to look like at the final result. So we're going to need a lot of splitting so that eventually we're going to have some bigger manager that is actually going to control this generated code. Let's see what it did. Okay, now generate embed code is a string. Let's look at this header. What did it do in the header? Okay, generate embed code, generate from file. Okay, that's good. And then is one calling the other? I think I already have something that says that reads the files, right? If I don't, it's going to be silly. So do I have something like that? What do I have in core? Details, files. Yeah, I already have read files. Read file, right? I probably should be able to use that as is. So let's see what the linkage happens here. So for example, here's something that it missed. Like it just didn't, it didn't think to already think if something already exists for file writing. And I can tell it, hey, there is a function for file writing. But let's see. First of all, I'm going to go to this response embed. I'm going to tell it to target sources, blah, 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 and then it does already link against the ACP core. So it knows the ACP core. And that means that I should be able to, I should be able to include ACP core.h here, and then probably don't need this, right? This would just be for all the file stuff. So it would be something like O2 stream equals, or O2 file as string equals files, read file, input path. Then I would probably not need all of this, right? Because this is like I already have this in the library. Like I don't want to write inline code for the same thing. That makes no sense. Generate embed code for file as string. Right? That's really what all this function needed to be. I did not need all this inline code for this. Do I need, what else do I need here? Do I need this? What is that? Set fill. Okay, so this, do I need stream? Do I need SD accept? No. Okay, so already I saved a bunch of stuff. Let's see if this still compiles. And let's give it with, see if we can just run it with some file. Then I'm going to perhaps have a commit here so that we can continue. Just check and see that the world is not blowing up. Okay, so uses like this with the file path. So let's give it a file path. In the run, let's see if I can just find some file here. Okay, good. It's going to just see out the code. So let's go. Let's see if I can find some file on my desktop or something. Let's make a text file. I have a bunch of crap in here. Let's remove this crap. I really need to change my screen. This is a new computer. I forgot to change the screenshots to go to another folder. I have no idea why this is the default. Anyway, let's close this. Let's make a, let's go to VS Code. Let's write some text file like, where are you? So I know. Hello, text file here. Let's save this in under my desktop. I have my desktop here. No. Desktop text file.txt. Beautiful. So why do I need resource name? What is resource name? Yes. Okay. So let's try it. Let's do resource embed, and on the command line, I am going to give it the path. So my path, I can go to my desktop, and alt click so you can copy text file as path name. So it's going to be this, and the other one is going to be resource, my resource. And later there's probably something more useful, but let's try with this. Okay, so this is the resource, right? This is what it looks like as bytes. Which I think is good. Now, this does this, it is like an inline constant expression array. I don't know if I love this, but it's relatively short. Let's look at this code. Let's see. Still lost.